I get most of my keys from eBay. I just type in flat antique keys, and I go for these flat ones with the 3 holes in them because there's more opportunities to connect with those. And I usually take like one that has symmetrical notches, put that in the center, and then the ones that have notches on the other sides, or on one side, kind of point them away from the center. And I clean them with this stuff called flits. This one was pretty corroded. There are some that are kind of brownish. Those are a little bit more difficult to clean, and I just avoid those. But the ones that are more have little gray spots and stuff are easier to clean. But sometimes the patina looks pretty cool. And you can either lay them, you know, like that, or alternate them like that, which is what I'm going to do for this tutorial. So, in addition to flat keys, you can also use barrel keys, like this one. I don't buy these that often. This is the only one I have. But these are pretty cool too, because they're rounded. They make some good, you know, accents, I guess, to the necklace. And some of them are pretty cool shapes. There's also trunk keys. You could type in on eBay or Etsy, trunk keys, radiator keys, skate keys, stuff like that. But, so, just another option. The first tutorial is going to have Chicago screws connecting the keys. And I'm going to start on this one because this one's going to, these end ones are going to be added later once I get the cords made. So you basically just figure out which one's going to go on top. Put the screw in the center of the hole. And then secure the back. Sometimes these are a little difficult to put in. You just have to kind of keep turning them back and forth till they click. There you go, like that. And to tighten them, I don't use a screwdriver, but you can if you want to. I just kind of use my pressure from my fingertips, tighten them like that. And then move on to the next one. And this one's going to go under. All right, I'll finish this up and then I'll come right back. And there's the finished piece. And I've got some cord. It was about 18 inches long, and I folded it in half. And this is going to be attached right here, probably underneath the keys actually. And I'm going to attach it with a clipped cord end, which looked like this. I cut that piece off, filed it down a little bit, and then slip it onto the cord. Kind of estimate, you want it to be small enough that it won't, you know, fall off the Chicago screw. That looks pretty good. Crimp it. Crimp one side first, and come back and crimp the other side. All right. So I want this to be 16 inches. So if that's 3 inches from here to here, yours might be longer or shorter, depending on how many keys you have. And the clasp will add about an inch. So that's 4 inches. So I need 6 inches on each side. So that's about right there. So I add my clasp. And if you make these the same size, they don't sit as well on the neck because they kind of bunch up. So I usually make one a little bit longer than the other one. Kind of like that, so that when it's up along the neck, it'll be a nice and smooth arc. Crimp it. And trim it off. All right, and that's what you got. I'll make the other one and I'll come right back. And this is how they're going to be attached. Just go like this. Put that underneath. Make sure your crimp is flipped in the right direction so it's nice and smooth on top. Put it through. There we go. And the other one. And you've got a necklace. Very cool. Excellent. This one's going to be a little different. I'm going to kind of arrange these keys like this, so they're kind of overlapping. And I'm just using 1 yard of cord. I think this is 1.5. Yeah, this is 1.5 millimeter. You could probably use 2 millimeter too. And this one's really simple. I want to get the middle of the cord when I fold it, and then take off a little bit, like maybe an inch or two, depending on how many keys you have. And then I just want to start by running this down into one of the holes, and then back up through the hole, and then down again. And then it's going to loop over and connect these two. So then you're going to come up through the bottom, down again, and then across to the top hole and the 2 keys, and then back down through this hole. And then when you come back over, you want to add the clasp key. And these keys sometimes they're punched or stamped, and sometimes they have like a more rounded side on the edges and then a sharp side. I usually try to put the rounded ones all up. And then this is going to come up through the bottom and then back down through the center top. And across and down through this hole. Sometimes you have to slide them a little bit to get it to go in. And then through here, back down, and out. And there's your necklace. That's what the back looks like. See how even it turned out. It's pretty good. Just figure out how long you want it. This is going to be an adjustable necklace, so I need it fairly long. You can just add any old kind of clasp or just, tie it so you can loop it over your head. But I'm going to make an adjustable clasp, which is basically just making a knot like this, running this cord through, tighten your knot, and then come back this way, tie another knot. Make sure you go around the cord. I'll add a diagram to the video on how to make this, and then tighten it. And you can trim it if you want to, otherwise just leave the little things hanging. I usually trim them so they're even. And then you can put it on and adjust it how you want it. So there's that one. And this one is going to have 2mm cord, and this is a 4-foot length of cord. Not quite sure how long it's going to be, so I'm guessing. But the first thing you want to do is fold your cord in half. And again, you can make any kind of clasp you want. You could just run 2 cords through it and then crimp the cords together if you want, but I want to show something different here. And this is going to be attached with a button, so you want to make sure that your button goes through your loop. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that should be good. Okay. You want to have your loop and then measure approximately how long you want the necklace minus the width of the keys. Let's go with a little bit less than 8 inches. And then you want to run your cords through this hole in the end. And the top cord goes through the top hole. And the bottom cord runs like that across. So these are both going to go down here. Like that. And like that. And then you add your other key. Putting the cord ends down. And then running the top cord again up through the top hole, bottom cord on the bottom, and then again they both go through. And then you add the rest of the keys, which I'll do, and I'll be right back. And this is what it looks like. So you want to measure a little less than, well, just so it matches the other side. Right there. I just mark it with my fingernail. Come down. There it is. And then just tie a knot on your mark. Clip the cord. You've got a necklace. Looks like it's a little lopsided, which is cool. Doesn't bother me none. And here's what the back looks like. And if you want, yeah, if you want to braid it or something like that, I haven't made one of these yet. Let's see what it'll look like. You could take another cord, maybe a different colored cord, and run it. Let's see. We'll go around like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. That way you could add a third cord if you want to make a braid, and then use a crimp cord end to secure it. Cool. Alrighty, so there's that one. I've already made most of this one because it's pretty straightforward. Basically just attaching them like chainmail. But the one thing you have to be concerned about is it's a lot easier to add the jump ring on the bottom first because of the way they spin. You can spin it this way, but you can't do that if there's a jump ring on the top. It'll get stuck. So you just put it like that. It's a lot easier also to do it, hold it, you know, vertically as opposed to horizontally because you got more jump ring to grip onto. And then you add the top one. And you have to open these jump rings fairly wide to get it through both keys. These are 3/16 inch 18 gauge nickel silver jump rings. All right, so that's what it's going to look like. These are my leftover keys, so that's kind of a mishmash. And I want to connect or add or make a chainmail chain. So I just opened a bunch of 3/16 inch jump rings and a whole bunch of 5/32 jump rings, and I'm going to connect them into a chain and add the clasp. I'll make the chains right now so I don't eat up the video time. All right. Here are my chains. I use a sealed jump ring, a large sealed jump ring on the ends, so it's, you know, lessens the risk of it coming apart. Then you just take your jump ring, add your chain, a Byzantine chain would look pretty good with these too. But there's tutorials for that all over the place, so I just wanted to do something simple for these. It's kind of a classic chainmail weave. And I add the other one. And sometimes you can make these in 2 pieces because they do get kind of heavy. And they pull down on the jump ring. I mean, while you're doing it, it just makes it kind of tricky. So if you want to make this half and then this half and then just connect them in the middle, or make up to this key and then add the whole center part. So that's what this one looks like. Simple hook clasp. And here's another one that I made. A little bit more fancy. Let's see. Yeah, this was really tricky though. I mean, it was really hard. I had to use chain nose. I don't usually use chain nose, but they're pointier. And it has these loops on it. And this one also has matching earrings. So, there's the chainmail.